Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English for Your Day. I'm your host, Lily, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another episode dedicated to making your everyday English smoother and more confident. Today, we're tackling a super practical topic, asking for and giving directions. Whether you're traveling, exploring a new city, or even just trying to find that new coffee shop down the street, knowing how to ask for and understand directions is essential. To help us navigate this topic, pun intended, I'm delighted to welcome a very special guest, Liam. Liam is a lecturer in English language at the university, and he's an expert in all things communication. Welcome to the podcast, Liam.
Thanks so much for having me, Lily. It's a pleasure to be here. Directions are such a fundamental part of daily interaction, so I'm excited to delve into this with you and our listeners.
Fantastic. So, Liam, let's dive right in. We thought it would be helpful to start by listening to a short, realistic dialogue. In this dialogue, we will hear Sarah asking David for directions. Let's have a listen.
Excuse me, could you help me, please?
Of course. How can I help?
I'm trying to find the City Art Gallery. Is it far from here?
Not too far, actually. Go straight ahead on this street. Then, take the second left. You'll see it on your right, opposite a park.
Second left opposite a park. Got it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a great day at the gallery.
Okay, Liam, that was a perfect little snippet of a real-life direction request. What are your initial thoughts on that conversation?
It was great, Lily. Very natural and concise. It hits all the key points of a simple direction exchange. Sarah clearly states her need, and David gives clear, step-by-step instructions. It's a great example for our listeners.
Absolutely. Let's break down some of the key phrases and vocabulary used in that dialogue, shall we? Starting right at the beginning, Sarah says, "Excuse me, could you help me, please?" Why is this a good way to start?
That's a very polite and effective opening. "Excuse me" is a classic way to get someone's attention politely. And "could you help me, please?" is a direct but courteous request. It immediately signals that you need assistance without being demanding. Using could instead of can also makes it a bit more formal and respectful, which is always a good idea when asking a stranger for help.
That makes perfect sense. Politeness is key. Then Sarah says, "I'm trying to find the City Art Gallery. Is it far from here?" What about that question?
"I'm trying to find" is a very common and natural way to express that you are looking for a place. It's less direct than "where is" and sounds a bit softer. And then, asking "is it far from here" is a very practical question. People want to know if they can walk or if they need to take a bus or taxi. It helps them gauge the effort involved in getting there.
Right. Very practical indeed. Now, let's look at David's directions. He says, "Go straight ahead on the street." This is a fundamental direction, isn't it?
Exactly. "Go straight ahead," or simply "go straight," is one of the most basic and important direction phrases. It means to continue in the direction you are currently facing without turning. And adding "on this street" clarifies that they should stay on the current road. It's clear and unambiguous.
And then he says, "Then, take the second left." Take the second left. Can you explain that a bit more?
"Take the second left" is another crucial direction phrase. It means to turn left at the second street or turning that you encounter. It's important to specify second, third, etc., to avoid confusion. Imagine if he just said, "Take a left." Sarah might turn at the first left and get lost. Clarity is key when giving directions.
Definitely. And David finishes by saying, "You'll see it on your right, opposite a park." On your right and opposite a park, these are helpful landmarks, aren't they?
Absolutely. On your right, tell Sarah which side of the street to look on. And opposite a park is a fantastic landmark. Landmarks are crucial when giving directions. They provide visual cues that people can look out for, making it much easier to follow the directions. Parks, shops, distinctive buildings. These are all great landmarks to use.
So, using landmarks is much better than just saying turn left and turn right?
In many cases, yes, especially in areas that might have many similar-looking streets. Landmarks help people orient themselves and confirm they are on the right track. Imagine David just said, "Turn left," and it's on your right. That's not very helpful. The park adds a concrete, visual reference point.
That's a really good point. And Sarah's response, second left, opposite a park. Got it. Thank you so much. Shows she's understood. Got it is a nice, informal way to say, I understand, right?
Yes, got it is perfect in this context. It's informal but perfectly acceptable and shows David that she has understood the directions. And of course, "Thank you so much" is essential to show appreciation for the help.
And finally, David says, "You're very welcome. Have a great day at the gallery." A friendly and polite closing.
Exactly. "You're very welcome" is the standard polite response to "thank you." And "have a great day at the gallery" is a nice, friendly touch to end the interaction on a positive note. It's all about being helpful and courteous.
So, Liam, if we were to summarize some key tips for asking for directions in English for our listeners, what would you say are the most important things to remember?
Definitely. I'd say, start politely. Always begin with a polite phrase like "excuse me" or "hello," followed by "could you help me, please?" or "can you help me?" Clearly state what you are looking for. Use phrases like "I'm trying to find" or "I'm looking for," and clearly name the place you want to go to. Ask about distance. Asking "is it far from here?" is very practical. Listen carefully to the directions. Pay attention to keywords like straight ahead, turn left, turn right, second left, opposite, next to, etc. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. If you don't understand something, it's perfectly okay to ask, "Could you say that again, please?" Or "Could you repeat that?" Or even "Sorry, I didn't quite catch that." Thank the person. Always remember to say "thank you" to show your appreciation.
Excellent tips, Liam. And what about giving directions? What are the key things to keep in mind when giving directions in English?
For giving directions, I'd recommend be clear and concise. Use simple language and avoid overly complicated instructions. Use directional phrases. Employ phrases like "go straight ahead," "turn left," or "turn right." Take the first turning or take the second turning or take the third turning, etc. Use landmarks. Incorporate landmarks like parks, shops, buildings to help people orient themselves. Phrases like opposite the bank, next to the supermarket, past the traffic lights are very helpful. Break down directions into steps. Give directions in a step-by-step manner, making it easier to follow. Confirm understanding. You can ask, "Do you understand?" or "Does that make sense?" to check if the person has understood your directions. Be patient and helpful. People asking for directions might be stressed or lost. So be patient and try to be as helpful as possible. A friendly attitude goes a long way.
Fantastic advice, Liam. This has been incredibly helpful. I think our listeners now have a much clearer understanding of how to confidently ask for and give directions in English. Knowing these phrases and tips will definitely make navigating new places much less daunting.
I hope so too, Lily. It's all about practice and building confidence. Don't be afraid to ask for directions, and don't be afraid to give them. It's a great way to interact with people and improve your English in real-life situations.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Liam, for sharing your expertise with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on English for Your Day.
My pleasure, Lily. Thanks for having me.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning into English for Your Day. We hope this episode has helped you feel more prepared for your next adventure, wherever it may take you. Remember to practice these phrases and don't hesitate to ask for directions next time you need them. You can find the transcript link in this video's description. Join us next time for more practical English tips to brighten your day.